Hi, fellow traders. How's everybody doing out there? I had to take a small mini vacation, just walk away from everything market related and just go out and enjoy myself. Enjoy the weekend. That's, the long weekend, and that's pretty much what I did and really needed it because I was able to, see things a lot clearer, in my mind and what I want to do, what I need to do, and where I want to go. Because, coming into the fourth quarter, I kind of started 2 weeks early and had phenomenal growth those first 2 weeks. And the first week of the fourth quarter, everything just kind of unraveled. But it wasn't anything I was doing. It was just the market went back into hibernation. And when the market is like that and you're trading small size, it's very tough. And I missed a couple of good trades that would have really given me a okay week. I missed those. One had to do with my platform issue on Monday. I can't blame Suretrader. I guess I should have checked this out first. I should have made sure everything was, where it needed to be and everything was right. So I blame myself for that. But, over the last couple of months, I've been really disappointed in what I'm getting from them. For a long time, they were steadily improving. They were bad at one time at customer service. They started improving and they started making, positive changes and moving in the right direction. But it seems like the last couple of months, I don't know. They've had a little bit more problems than they had in the past. I don't know, it could be growing pains, but just been a little bit disappointed, in that. But I, have to keep that in mind, and, we have to protect ourselves in situations like that. So that's kind of, what I've been doing. I'm kind of glad that I'm trading smaller size now, because when I get caught up in situations like that, I don't sweat as much. But we're attacking this fourth quarter, and we're looking to finish this thing strong. The 1 week does not make it. 1 month does not make it. It's all 3 months put together, and we're going to finish strong. So with that said, this is the last week that we're offering this, to join the small account education program. I started with $1,300 2 weeks ago. I reset it at the beginning of this month, and didn't really get very far, as you'll see last week. So practically still at $1,500. But the focus is going to be on education and demonstrating the skill building techniques that you're going to need to help grow your account. Now, I know we all like to be entertained, and we all like people that make us feel good and to pump us up and everything. And I understand that. But this is your money. And in some cases, this is your future. And the last thing I want to be is somebody there to entertain you and to try to make you feel good about something when you should be, have your nose to the grindstone, learning and developing the skill that you're going to need. Because starting small is not easy. It's very difficult. We're going to talk about that a little bit later as well. But, you have to build that foundation. And if you do it trading small and developing and building that confidence, you're going to make it. And that's what the focus is going to be. So I don't offer a quarter subscription, so this is a special deal. And like I said, after this week, it wouldn't make sense because we would have started everything. If I trade, I'll do the midday recap, or, I'll talk about things throughout the day. Unlike today, this was a kind of a halfway holiday. Some of the country celebrates Columbus Day, some don't. But the market was noticeably slow. I mean, we could tell the volume in the spot, was down. We had 80 million shares traded Friday. We had just over 30 million shares traded today. So I knew that the market wasn't going to be there. And so I told everybody, I'm not going to trade. I didn't log in because I didn't feel the day was going to offer anything. Yeah, we would get a move in the morning, but after that, you'd be chasing your tail, and it's too easy to give money back. So part of learning and developing is knowing when it's not ideal for you to trade. Now, yeah, scalpers, they're always going to have a market, but you can't really do that with a small account. You could try trading these lower dollar, low float stocks, but just as easily as you can make money, you can lose it 3 times faster. And that's why I tend to stay away from that. I have my process that I go through that helps me get to the next level. That helps me build the confidence that I need as I go through the progression. And that's what I try and I work on teaching everybody. Now, once you get your fundamentals down, you're going to grow outside of me. But if you grow the right way and at the right pace, then you'll never look back. And that's, what I want for everybody. So I will do the recaps throughout the day, or I'll talk about ideal situations. You'll get weekly education webinars. I do them on Wednesdays at 4:30. These won't be on YouTube for the public. This is for you guys. This is part of this program and for the people that are in chat. And as a bonus, you're going to get the day trading psychology workshop I have. It's 4 classes, and that is starting this Thursday. That's why, after this week, this weekend I'll be pulling it down. It wouldn't make sense to, jump in if we've already started everything. So that day trading psychology workshop, I think, is worth more than anything. And I honestly feel, and I'm not trying to blow my horn or anything, but I honestly feel that for the $149 that you would pay for the quarter and everything that you get, I can almost bet you'll learn more in these 3 months than you would spending thousands of dollars on all these courses. Because what you see and what you witness and what you feel is real life. It's like I know a lot of people like reality TV now, and this is like reality TV. This is what happens when I mess up, when I make a mistake. You see it live. Sometimes I may not react appropriately, but this is real. This is unscripted. So you get to feel my pain and my frustration, and but the beauty is you get to see how I deal with it, how I work through it, and how I pick up the pieces and move on. And I think that's where the real value comes into this. But you have to give it a chance. You have to stick with it. You can't have this backpack mentality. Okay, the backpack mentality is when you just pick up and leave before your work is done. When you check out before your learning is done because you don't feel that you're progressing and you're ready to move on. But you have to finish. For a lot of people, the reason that they never get to the next level is because they never finish anything. It doesn't matter what you think. If you start something, finish it. But you're going to have to focus. You're going to have to build confidence. Throughout this whole process, you got to work on yourself. We'll be breaking you down and building you back up in this psychology course. That's what that's about. It's taking yourself apart and trying to figure out what you need to wire differently in order to be successful trading. And the key is you're going to have to hold yourself accountable. Anything that happens to me, I'm responsible for because the buck stops with me. I can blame this person, that person, this broker, that broker. I can blame all of that. But in the end, I'm accountable for the money that I lost. So you have to hold yourself accountable. It's like, we go and we buy something and it has, it's guaranteed to work in 30 days. And in 30 days, if it doesn't work, we want to go back and get our money back. So what about looking at us? Did we do what we were supposed to do? Did we follow everything the right way? Did we put 120% into trying to make it work? And if that's the case, then we need to ask ourselves for our money back. Because then it's not the product, it's us. So we have to hold ourselves accountable. And we have to be that person. We also have to stay in our lane. We can't follow every Tom, Dick, and Harry. If somebody's trading successfully and they're making the trades that you like, that you can see, don't just follow them. Try to learn what they're doing. But stay in that lane. Don't follow that, follow this. What's this guy doing? He just called out a big trade. Who knows whether he's trading for real or not? But he called out something. They could be, what happens a lot is people are in multiple chat rooms. Somebody may have called out a trade there and they come and make it their own. And then you're trying to follow them and they really don't know what they're doing because they're following somebody else. You got to kill that noise. And you got to focus on you and maximizing your trading potential. Because you have to be the best you. You cannot make money trading following alerts. No matter what people say or what they want to sell you, you can't make money that way consistently. You have to know what you're doing. You have to understand the strategy. You have to understand what's going on, or else you're going to go backwards. So don't have the backpack mentality. When you come in, you stick with this. There are going to be bad days. There are going to be bad weeks. Like I had last week. I missed 2 solid opportunities that would have given me a halfway decent week. And just kind of piddled around. And then Friday took trades that I shouldn't have traded. Trying to make something happen. And that's not what you need to do. And so you guys that were there, you got to see exactly what you don't want to do. But you did see when I got to the point of I can't lose anymore, that's when I stopped. Shut it down. Yeah, I had to leave early but still, whether I leave early or not, you see me shut it down. And that's the key. You have to manage your risk and you have to do what you need to do in order to maximize your potential. You got to be the best version of yourself when you're trading. There's no way around that. All right, so you keep fighting. Just remember, you only lose when you quit. And I'm not talking about you only lose money on a trade when you quit. I mean, you only lose your confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth. You know, you only lose when you quit. You can set goals, and if you don't make those goals, if you say, okay, if I'm unable to achieve this, and that, then I know I've done everything I can, and it's time to move away to something else. That's not quitting. If you just do it, get frustrated, and like, this is too hard, I don't want to put the work in, you're starting a pattern for yourself. So you don't want to make excuses. You make adjustments. I don't make excuses for anything. I make adjustments. You know, I may identify reasons that things happen the way they did, but I won't use them as excuses. You know, these are the things that I need to work on and make adjustments so that they don't happen again. You know, every time I take a trade, I expect it to be successful. Every trade, I expect it to be a successful one. And that's not saying that every trade I expect to win money on, make money on. I expect to do that trade or manage that trade according to the plan I have laid out. If I do that, it's a successful trade. If I stick to my risk management, it's a successful trade. And I expect to be successful every day. I go into every day expecting to be successful. And that's what we have to do. Expect to be successful. And whether we make money on a trade or we stop out at a predetermined point, it's a successful trade. Because we didn't hurt ourselves and we kept ourselves safe and on the right track. Alright, so let's look at my dismal week. I tried to talk long enough to kind of take everybody's mind off of this, but you know, this is horrible. $135. You know, I had $300, and that's probably what messed me up. Was Thursday night I looked at where I was for the week, and I had a little over $300, and I was like, you know, I should be able to easily, you know, end up with $500, which is fine. You know, that's great. You know what that's 30% growth. That's awesome. And I came out Friday and tried to force some trades trying to make that $200, and you can see every trade Friday was a loser. I lost $192, almost $200. My max loss is $150. So I went over my max loss a little bit. Really on this trade here, I let go too far. This was the one, but I had a little bit too much slippage. I let it go too far. But, you know, I just made a mess of my week. I'd have been okay with $300. You know, I'd have been okay with that. Because that would have been 20% growth. You know, still, you can't put money in the bank and in a week grow it by 20%. You know, it doesn't really work that way. You know, but now, you know, I did have 9% growth, which is still better than putting money. If I put $1,500 in the bank, at the end of the week, I wouldn't have $135.86. So I had to look at it that way, in that it's a positive. I didn't lose any money. I still made more money than I would have made if it was sitting in the bank. And, you know, let's move on. You know, let's pick up the pieces and let's move on. And you can see, you know, 64% profitability rate. That's not bad. You know, I think that's okay. We're not that far below 70% across the board. So this wasn't bad. And if it wasn't for Friday, this would have been right on point. Everything would have been on point. But my average winning trade is smaller than my average losing trades. So that's less than 1 average win to loss ratio. That's like 75% when the 0.75 to 1, win loss ratio. That's not cool. That's not good. Now my largest winning trade was bigger than my largest losing trade. This was my largest losing trade for the week. That happened on Friday. That's where that came in. So that kind of helped skew this number for me. But I have to look at last week for what it was. I tried. It wasn't conducive to trading. I tried to force too many things. I mean, look at this: 23, 35, 16, 32, 38. $7. This is not what we look for. The market just wasn't following through, and I was getting the first profit target, but then that was it. And this is exactly why I scale out, because if I hadn't scaled out, this would be a loss, 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 and I'd have had a very red week. So I scale out even with small size to make sure that I lock in something. But you can see we grew by less than 10%, but we grew. And we're still here for this week. And we're ready to move on. So today, let me show you what I was talking about with the SPY here. You can see in the morning we had the movement. So we had a nice sell-off here. And this caused me to hold up on some of my swing trade entries. This big sell-off. We got below the 200 and we just kind of traded in this channel, for about an hour and a half or so. Finally, we broke through it. We couldn't go back green on the day. So we practically traded within this channel most of the day. And it wasn't until volume started coming in after 2 o'clock that we started making moves again. So we had a little movement that you could have made some profit on here this morning. And then flatline. This is, why I always say the first 30 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, that's when you make your money. Here's where you can give it back if you're not careful. And in a lot of cases, you don't need to trade, because for the strategies that we trade, it's not conducive to it. Small accounts, you're not going to be able to scalp 20, 30 cent moves and make money. Commissions will kill you. When you get larger size and you're able to make more money scalping, then commissions become a non-issue. But when we are trading small and we're not able to make these big gains, commissions become an issue with us. So when we plan our trades, we have to make sure that we're able to make enough profit for the trade to make sense. And if we can't do that, then it doesn't make sense. If we get in with 100 shares and only get 20 cents, that trade doesn't make a whole lot of sense at all. So, that's kind of what we have to be careful with. Now today, I wasn't in chat when I took this trade. I was actually working with another trader. We were doing a mentor session. And this was kind of a teaching thing, because this is when the SPY started moving. We had breaking news on HLX, and I was showing how I trade breaking news plays. You know, I don't chase it up on the first candle. I wait for a pullback, you know, for at least half the candle, which we kind of got here. And then I'll take it once we start to move back up. And so I got in here and, you know, just kind of let this work. And I showed, you know, I was showing how I make my profit targets at the different levels of resistance that we're going to run into, and then how I set my profit stop, you know, if we start to roll over. And, you know, this trade, this worked out, but, you know, this isn't a typical stock I would trade. You can see it's a $7 stock. So I typically don't trade stocks, you know, this small. But this turned out to be a decent trade because we were able to trade with some size. You know, 500 shares is not a whole lot, but, you know, 500 shares for, you know, 40 cents is $200. That's not bad. And this had the potential to make it. Couldn't get the last move I wanted here. But you can see I sat on my hands and I didn't trade anything. And all day, this stock was just trading sideways. When the SPY got some life and got some volume coming in after lunch, going into this 2 o'clock hour, and we had some breaking news come out, that's when you can get in the market and risk a little bit. That's when there's proper risk reward. You know, I wish I could have come back in the chat room, but I was, you know, one of the sessions that I had to that I canceled this weekend because I needed that break. You know, I had to do it, you know, at this time, so I didn't really have a choice. But this is what I try to teach. You know, when there's certain times when you just don't, you need to just sit on your hands. When the market's trading sideways, you sit on your hands. You wait for some breaking news to happen. Wait for the market to start picking up and making some moves. And then you've got opportunity. And that's what we have to wait for. So here's my social media, all my information. You can follow me on YouTube so you can get notified whenever I post a video or I may go live. Sometimes I accidentally hit live stream instead of record, and I'm actually live instead of recording the video. You'll see that when that happens on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And the email you could get me at, I monitor it 24/7, ed@averagejoetrader.com. It's the best place to get me. So if you have any questions, anything, feel free to reach out. You know, I answer and talk to everybody. And if by any chance you send me an email and I haven't responded within 12 hours or so, resend it. Because either it didn't get to me or it accidentally got sent to my trash or my spam folder. So I don't ignore people. I answer everybody. So make sure always resend it, and I will get it. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for me today. I know this was a little bit long, but I hadn't talked in about a week, so I had to get it all out. So take care, have a great evening, a great night, and I will see you guys tomorrow.